Hi everyone. I seem to, every video I'm starting nowadays, I'm laughing and there's always something going on. There's a mental crow outside. Just going absolutely berserk. The video I wanted to do today, hopefully is a short one. And the reason I'm doing it is because I just had a beautiful consultation with a new client who we got talking about life and about ups and downs, and about how the ups and downs can change you at a core level. And I told her a little bit about my book, and that's what inspired me to read out a little bit this morning of my book, because I'm noticing and hearing about a lot of people that are losing things. So it could be people are losing their homes, people are losing their relationships, people are losing their health, people are losing their loved ones. So there's a lot of loss going on. And I wanted to read this part out of my book. This chapter is called The Dismantling, and it's a lot about everything being ripped away from me at a period in my life. This book is called Undercover Angel, and it's really about overcoming some pretty intense challenges. One night I was crying, sobbing in fetal position, and thought, how did I get here? How did I get here? From being happily married, having a successful business, a beautiful multi-million-dollar house, receiving money from Centrelink and struggling to get by. The voice in my head said, well, now you're no longer Norma the teacher. You're no longer Norma the wife. You're no longer Norma with all the money, and you're no longer Norma the friend. Now you will come to know who the real Norma is. I didn't know what that meant until a few years later. And I definitely know what it means today. Because all of these things that were taken from me were transient. They weren't Norma. They were labels. And the person that I am today is more just Norma, just the person within. If I've still got things around me, they don't identify me. I'm not attached to them. And I remember saying at one point, oh my goodness, I can't imagine not owning my own house. Now, when I think of that today, I think, what? I just want to slap that person. What a pretentious bitch. Because I went from that to practically homeless to then struggling to have food. And even, as I mentioned in my book, eating berries off a tree to get by. At that time in my life, I was angry with everybody. I lost my faith as well. I stopped praying to God as if it was God's fault. But when I look back now at the person that I became because of all of those things getting taken away, I am so grateful that I am the person I am today and not the person I was then. So my message for you is, please don't be afraid if you're going to lose things, because you'll get through it. And there's always a reason behind it. I started speaking to God again and realized that it was a gift. It wasn't a curse. I wasn't being punished. I had chosen it at some level to go through those difficult times, to become the person I am, so that I can help others now when they're in loss and grief. And I'm dealing with people every day that are in loss for one thing or another. And I'm seeing more of it coming because of the situation that we're heading into, the inflation and whatever else madness is there. And I'm also seeing a lot of people that are disillusioned and angry and upset at being lied to. So there's a lot more of that coming as well. I also talk about that in my book, about being in a relationship with a narcissist, where the shock of waking up to the fact that they don't really have your best interests and they don't really love you is just awful. And we are waking up to that right now. A lot of people are waking up to that right now, that we have been in relationship with a narcissistic government that didn't have our best interest, that doesn't care about your health. And there's going to be more people waking up in that shock. So when I look back at all the times that I went through, I look at this and I go, I was in training. I was in training for getting to the place I'm in now, so that I can hopefully inspire somebody that's going through loss and grief as well, and just let them know that you'll get through it. You'll get through it. I got through it. You'll get through it. And if you are going through that, please don't do what I did, which is go through it completely alone. I didn't reach out to people through fear of embarrassment and shame and, you know, not looking like the altogether perfect person that I look like to people, which is not real. I just look like that. But inside, you know, I was scared. I was afraid. I was ashamed. I didn't want to tell people. I felt like a failure. And so please, if you're going through that, don't do that, because the suffering is more intense. It's much better to even just speak to someone on the phone, you know, if you're in grief, if you're sad, if you're alone, you know, make a point of just telling someone. And people are kind. Human beings are kind. We're seeing a lot of madness right now. You know, I just see people fighting, and, you know, you're not wearing a mask and you're this. And I think being genuinely honest with people, it snaps them out of that anger or whatever that they're feeling. I mean, if you can say to someone, I'm having a really bad day, after they've been rude to you, I'm sure they wouldn't continue to be rude to you. I think we need to be honest about how we feel, and we need to be hopeful that there is support there, even if you're feeling really, really alone. And we're not going to know unless we do it. So all I'm saying to you is, you will get through whatever you're going through. And yes, it can be so painful. I remember it being so painful that I just wished I wouldn't wake up. But if I had known then what I know now, I would have just chilled back and relaxed and thought, well, I've got a few years of trauma and then things are going to get better. But I wouldn't have learned what I did. So without waffling on, if you are looking for a little bit of inspiration, please read my book. People are reading it in one go. They're not able to stop reading it. They're not able to put it down. Some of the reviews are saying that kind of thing. So please have a read. It will make you feel better. It will inspire you, and you'll realize that, yeah, we all go through stuff. Even the perfect looking people go through stuff. And we're all the same. We're all the same inside. We all hurt, we all cry, we all bruise, and we all need love and we need support. So please reach out. You can reach out to me if you want to. I'm happy to share some experience with you. I do consultations. I've had people just contact me for just not health consultations, but they just want to get some advice. I'm happy to do that, all from experience. I'm not an expert, but I'm an expert on my own experience. So the book is on Amazon. It's called Undercover Angel, and it's also on my website if you want to download it from there. If you have any questions, put them in the comments, and please make sure that you trust that what is happening to you is part of your soul's path, and the harder the path, the better you're going to become at the end of it. You know, it's like the stronger the medicine, the better your recovery. So please look after yourselves, reach out, don't be alone. You're not alone.